This is Jason Beard, who owns J&B FX Studios, and I'm Howard Berger from K&B EFX Group, K&B EFX Group Inc. Here we are making a lot of blood and guts and mayhem for the movie Ghost Ship. I think what I like best about prosthetic stuff is that it's actually practical stuff that has to get built. You can touch it, you can feel it. It takes artists to create it, you know. You have sculptors and mold makers and painters and mechanics and makeup artists. And, you know, on this show, it just happens to be bodies and a lot of gore stuff and all that. But it can be, you know, you can be on a show where you have to make monster stuff or a subtle makeup or an age makeup or something like that, an animal.
And it also has that look about it on film as well that digital stuff doesn't have. It's got a raw texture to it.
You know, we've seen so much CGI, we've seen so many uses of the technologies to create some of these supernatural things that we find that some of these things work better when you just go back to humans and go back to and have the frightening moments come out of something that people can really empathize with by feeling like, I think I'm talking to you. Are you human or are you a ghost?
Howard Berger and Jason Beard have both sort of succeeded immensely at what they've done, which is provide the film with a bit of shock value. And they both sort of understand the medium, if that's the right way of putting it. The sticky red medium.
Well, in the first 10 minutes, 80 people get killed, so, and we see them all get chopped up and hacked up. You know, you have your lead characters, and
nearly all of them die.
Yeah, one by one. We had an initial storyboard sequence that Steve Beck had done, and we were asked to go back in and add to it, and make a little more sense out of the whole catastrophe of the opening of the film. This whole four-deck sequence, it's called. The cut happens within, you know, less than a second. Whoosh, slices through all these people, 80 people, and then bodies fall apart in creative, comical, horrific ways. And Joel Silver kept referencing an effect that we worked on in 13 Ghosts, where this one character, Ben, who's the lawyer, gets sliced in half and just kind of first half slides down and then the second half slides down, and we see it all. And that got a really huge response in the film, and Joel wanted that times 80, times 100. Actually, originally, it was everybody got decapitated, and then the studio went, no decapitations. So then it went to slicing everybody here, and we wanted then to have the captain get it in a real specific way, something that was different than all the other people, and we thought, okay, he'll maybe bend down to save the little girl, and takes the wire right across his mouth. So in that four-deck sequence, we see him holding her. They're the last remaining, you know, live people standing there amongst thousands or hundreds of dead bodies and blood and guts everywhere. And we look up at the captain, and this bloodline just kind of starts to grow, and he leans over, and the top of the head falls off onto the little girl. And I mean, I don't know really what the difference is between lobbing somebody's head off and lobbing somebody's at the torso and having more blood and guts exposed and spray out.
And then lobbing someone off at the mouth.
Yeah, but that was a special thing we had to really sell Joel Silver on that one. You know, it's a combination of our stuff, our practical stuff, and then digital stuff that Photon here is responsible for. So.
I think you have to start first with a couple of very sick puppies like Jason and Howard, you know, very sick men to come up with these concepts. The objective is to try and get an animated human-style face and subtle nuances of reactions and musculature on an otherwise inert prosthetic. We were able to determine how to make the actor from whom the prosthetic cast had been made move in the same way that the prosthetic would, or at least make their face move in the same way as the prosthetic face would move. We have scanned the head so that we can massage and manipulate that if we need to create patches or transitions between prosthetic and live action.
We have to leave!
Then we had quite a few makeup effects to do with Santos as one of the characters, and he gets blown up and comes back as a ghost with horrible burns all over half of his body. Also, initially, we started with some rotting corpses. It's all about, you know, making the bodies look as real as possible, doing a lot of fine detail, you know, with eyes and teeth and hair punching and all that sort of stuff. We also did a replica dummy of the character Murphy, played by Gabriel Byrne. He's dead in a tank, in a huge fish tank full of water, so it was an effect that the actor couldn't have physically done himself, so we did a replica of him. There's an effect where Francesca, she gets a hook in the neck, so the hook comes flying through camera and digs her up under the chin and lifts her off her feet. And so we did it was a combination of rigging and stunts and myself to get her actually swinging backwards and forwards to look like, you know, she was actually hanging by her neck. So we did a big prosthetic neck section and a fake hook and bloodlines and stuff. So that was, when we saw the rough cut of that, it was very, very cool.